We'll do the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org now. The United Nations Special Envoy to Syria is actually meeting in Geneva today with foreign officials from Turkey, Iran, and Russia, basically telling people to honor, pleading for people to honor the ceasefire that's supposed to be taking place near the northern Syrian border between Syria and Turkey. The ceasefire actually came with conditions that essentially should have the Syrian Kurds removed from certain parts of the border, but Turkey claims that they're not abiding by those conditions. Keep in mind that all of this invasion by Turkey into northern Syria, and recently them reaching a deal with Russia to do so to keep Syrian Kurds off of the border, has now been, you could say, it all started from the U.S. actually withdrawing support from Kurdish fighters, where the Kurdish fighters, the Syrian Kurdish fighters were now backed by Syria, were essentially there, detaining ISIS people and essentially protecting oil fields, which now the U.S. is saying that even if their withdrawal of troops have actually been sending troops out there to hold down the oil fields. And President Trump said yesterday that basically the oil is important for three reasons. One, it fueled ISIS. He literally said that verbatim. It fueled ISIS. But two, it would help the Kurds since, they were basically able to live with that oil. And three, the U.S. should be able to take some of that oil too. So he plans on making a deal with ExxonMobil or a major company like that so they could go there and secure it properly. Sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me, but that's what's going on. The Green Wall graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So, Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman is actually slated to testify today as part of the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump, which basically stemmed from him trying to have that phone call with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and appeal to him to actually open an investigation against Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, and to look into the Democratic DNC email hacking back in 2016. Now, this is the first person to testify that actually listened in on that July 25th phone call, and he actually registered 2 internal objections at the time, and he's publicly said that he didn't think that it was appropriate. So we'll see what this turns into be. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Now, I told y'all over in Iraq, there's actually been anti-government protests that have been going on since early October, since the beginning of this month, protesting government corruption, widespread unemployment, you know what I'm saying, lack of access to basic resources like food and water and shit, you know what I'm saying? So protests have been getting real. In the holy city, in the Shiite holy city of Kabbalah, there were a bunch of people protesting, and mass soldiers actually came in and opened fire on these crowds of anti-government protesters, killing 18 people and then injuring 860 motherfucking people. Man, that's some big, terroristic type shit right there. And it basically raised the death toll up to 220 for the month since these protests have erupted. In Baghdad and Tahrir Square, there were thousands of people that were defying the government-imposed curfew protesting, and Iraqi security forces actually went in there, was throwing tear gas and all of that. So shit is real over there, man. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Make sure you sign that petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org and look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Bye, Bishop Grady. $hip Grady laying out exactly why you should be removed from the platform. Now, a bunch of execs are actually, you're talking about finance execs, you're talking about even government officials in the U.S. actually going over to this financial forum and being held by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, they're amidst international protests against them and their gross human rights violations, as well as their awful situation in them attacking Yemenis, that war, as well as the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Nevertheless, it's not stopping fucking the Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, or Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, who's supposed to be ahead of the peace in the Middle East, from actually leading this U.S. delegation in the Future in Investment, or also known as Davos in the Desert. What's going on this week, man? Shit is atrocious. Green Wall and Graduation. Should be other financial execs too, CEOs and top executives from like Citigroup and HSBC. Shit is crazy, man. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. In Capitol Hill, the CEO of Boeing, the airplane company, the CEO of Boeing, David Muhlenberg, is actually scheduled to give a testimony in front of Congress. Now, this comes after a report done by the Washington Post, which basically says that that top executives of Boeing failed to intervene when two of their top test pilots basically came back and warned them about like the problems that they were having with the automated flight intervention system and automated flight control, and these automated flight control is actually what led to the crashes that took place with the Indonesian airlines as well as the Ethiopian airlines, totaling over 350 deaths. So shit is crucial, and the Justice Department is conducting a criminal investigation against Boeing. We'll see what this turns into be though. Green Wall and Graduation. Report of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So in Silicon Valley, over 250 Facebook employees actually signed on to a letter sent to CEO Mark Zuckerberg urging him to reverse the policy that Facebook has, which basically allows politicians to lie on their ads. These ads are not held in the same or vetted the same as our ads from companies or other businesses, and the letter actually claims that this policy allows politicians to weaponize Facebook and target people who essentially believe in their candidates and believe that what they're saying, what a politician may say, is like true shit. So at the same time, you have activist by the name of Adriel in San Francisco, who actually put out a fake ad that said that Lindsey Graham supports the Green New Deal. Then, after it was removed 2 days later, he actually registered as a government candidate, a gubernatorial candidate for the 2022 election. So we'll see if he gets those ads through. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So a North Carolina state court run by like these three judges basically ruled that they basically are getting rid of the state congressional district's map. Like they basically just throwing it out because they're saying that is an obvious scenario of partisan gerrymandering done by the Republicans back in 2016, and that it violates the state constitution's rights of freedom of speech and free elections. So they're even willing to postpone the next elections in order to get this district map correctly drawn. So we'll see how this turns out though. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So the United States government, or you can say the Trump administration, actually surprisingly extended the temporary protection status, or TPS, to El Salvadorans up until 2021. Now you know that since Trump has been in place, that immigration rights and TPS permits have been like being removed like rapidly. So for this to take place, it seems almost counterintuitive, but this is happening amidst a lot of collaborations being handled, set up between America and El Salvador, aimed at stopping immigration. I told y'all in the past about the third-party rule where, if you're applying for third-party asylum, where if you're going through a country like El Salvador to get to America, you got to apply for asylum in El Salvador first. But now you also have agreements between them about settling on U.S. Customs and Border Protection being deployed to El Salvador, as well as an expansion on biometric data collection. We'll see what this is, though. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. 33-year-old Mexican woman woman actually died in Arizona Border Patrol's custody. Now, crazy thing about it is there were she makes two people that have died within a week at that Pacific Border Patrol station. Now, the Pima County office actually looked into it, had a medical examiner look into it, and said that the woman likely died from dehydration and kidney failure resulting from her long journey through the desert. A lot of people say that the Border Patrol's prevention through deterrence policy is what has been pushing immigrants back more and more into the Sonoran Desert, leaving thousands to die since the 90s due to them trying to migrate into the U.S. So it's unfortunate, but starting to seem like there's a pattern going on here. Let's get to the bottom of that though. Greenwald graduated. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Claudie St-K, this 84-year-old man who actually was in France in the southern city of Bayonne, attempted to set fire to a mosque yesterday. Now, when he wasn't able to do so, he actually opened fire and injured 2 people. Later got arrested. Now, this dude, St-K, he actually ran as a local election for the far-right National Rally Party, which is the party of French politician Marine Le Pen. So, I don't even have to tell y'all what race he is. Greenwald graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Canada, there are actually 15 children and teenagers that are suing the federal government for their inaction on climate change, and having the lawsuit actually says that they not only ignored it, but they continue to contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, knowing that it's costing these kids their future. So we'll see how that turns out. Some of the shit going on in the U.S. and most likely worldwide, especially with these recent global climate threats. So I mean, very interesting to watch, and people fighting for their future. I respect it. Greenwald and graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So in dozens of cities across the United States, they actually gathered a bunch of women actually gathered for a day of outrage regarding police killings of black women, specifically honoring Tatiana Jefferson, the 28-year-old from Fort Worth, Texas, was actually killed by an officer who was summoned for a wellness check, and he comes to the building and with his hands out yells like, put your hands up through the window, and Shorty's in there playing games with her kids or whatever, and apparently brandishes her own gun and then gets shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? This is happening at like 1 a.m. in the morning, so those are scary hours. Like, how would you come in with your guns drawn and not expecting people who legally have guns to show guns? You know what I mean? So I mean, if I'm getting something wrong about it, please let me know, because those are the facts that were reported. You know what I mean? But we'll see what this turns out to. But shout out to Tamika Mallory and the other women that actually assembled to make their voices heard. You know what I'm saying? They speaking for not only just women, black women, but for all of us, really. Because a threat to justice anywhere, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You dig? Greenwald graduate.